Hey guys, my name is Rudy and I'm coming to you live from my floor. So, my channel is all about helping people do stuff and things and getting things done. So I got an email, a request from a user who wants to know how to remove the top and replace the lid. I'm not sure of all the specifics yet, but I want to kind of go through some of the disassembly, and this is what it's all about. I'm also going to cover a couple of different things on cleaning and maintenance tips along the way. So, first thing we do is we open the top. I'm going to go ahead and remove the container. Water. If you guys are complaining about about not a lot of water going through, this is the issue. This is something that was brought up before. So you want to kind of go down in here and fish this out. This is your filter. If it's dirty or clogged in any shape or form, that will affect the amount of water that goes through it. You definitely want to take it out in the kitchen sink, and if you have a spray it out. Just don't lose it in the thing. I would definitely put the net down at the bottom of the sink. That way you don't lose this in the drain. Okay, so we're going to talk about taking this thing apart. First thing you want to do is you want to eject the pad, which is right up here. Squeeze the button. Out. It's supposed to come to the pad. It's a little stiff. Okay. Next thing, you want to remove the battery. So I just got two small screwdrivers here. Remove this screw right here. Zoom in on that. These two. The good thing about this is actually it stays in place. The screws are held in place, so you don't have to worry about losing those. And I have a bowl for the other screws. Okay. Small tap. Battery comes right out. Now, how do you take the rest of this apart? So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way through these holes here. I'm going to start with these up here. So, screw up here at the corner. I realized I'm in a mirror. And it's also a good idea to work on a clear table, or in my case, linoleum floor or tile floor, where you can see where the parts go. You can try to get them out that way. And we're also going to remove the screws back here. So we removed the screw up here along the top of the ridge. And now we're going to remove this screw back here, these two, which would be the two rear screws. Now you can do this a couple of different ways. If you got a magnetic screwdriver, it's easy to fish these out. If you got a setup like mine, excuse me, that's pretty easy. And also, very carefully, they will fall out. Like I said, it has been a little while since I've done this. You also want to remove, I'm going to go ahead and remove the three screws up here. Also, while we're here, if you ever need to replace the little holder here for your pads, that's easy. That's just these two upper screws. Those come out, this whole thing right here comes right out, and it's easily replaceable. Okay, now we're going to talk about getting this thing out of here. I'm going to check my screws again, make sure that they're actually all the way out. I would recommend holding this thing right side up as you're working your way through this. Okay, so the front bumper, if you will, over here, comes right out. There's nothing really attached to this, just you got the piece right here. One thing I want to draw attention to are these two items right here. These two sometimes will come right out. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. If they come out, please pay attention how they're in here. We're going to pop one of these out real quick just to kind of show you. And I know that it's got to be facing this way out. All right. Okay, now we want to open the top up again. Now, we've loosened the screws. Now the bumper piece was attached by these screws up here along the rail. The rest of them are for the back. So all these pieces are out. A lot of them just didn't want to come out. Again, that's why I kind of stress of working on a table or a clear floor. If these things fall out, you know exactly where they went. Only trick to this part, next part is to get the thing to come out right. And you can see the screws falling out right now as they go. What you want to do is you want to very carefully work this way out. Now over here on the inside, this piece kind of has to go inside the hole. The black piece, if you kind of jiggle it a little bit, kind of one-handed operation here, but you want to kind of push this down in here and very carefully. So you push the black pieces in. Now the rest of it should come out. Now I do want to caution you before you take this step, or probably should have said this earlier, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, I would definitely go back to iRobot. Maybe your unit's under warranty. The current warranty is 1 year. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, you definitely shouldn't be doing this, or seek out help. Okay, very important thing here on this side, especially for my requested member here. So as we pop this out, I'll say we again push the black thing all the way in. You don't want to yank on this too much because underneath here is a wire harness, which is right here. Now this really applies back to my my visitor here, my common, the reason I made this video. For the rest of the disassembly, it depends on what they sent you. If you're replacing the entire lid here, you want to go ahead and remove this right here, which would be these 4 screws. You can see that from here. This would be that switch area. I did this when I worked on it earlier to get the push action of the buttons to work. So you remove 1, 2, 3, 4. Here in the front, well, tell you what, here's what we're going to do. If they're sending you the lid, the next thing you need to do is you actually need to remove the lid, which would be these top screws right here. I'm doing this live and unedited here. So what I did again is I removed the top 2 screws here. And this actually forces the assembly to come out to the top. And I'm assuming that you can actually, oh, right here. So the lid actually attaches right back here to these. If you remove these, and this right here, you should be able to get to the assembly and get it out. I'm hoping that they actually sent you the whole thing. If they didn't, we can go through this in more details. We go through this on my own here, kind of doing this off a whim. So this right here, there is a spring right here. What you will do is you'll feed this all the way out and take it out that way. You have to actually let me know what it is that they actually sent you so we can make this easier to replace. But this right here would have the lid coming right out. hopefully that gives you an idea what's in store for you. If you need additional help, I'm here to help, and I hope this video helps you in the disassembly. Putting it all back together. There's a spring in here that you really have to watch out for. You can kind of see it moving here. And to put this back in here is line this up with the holes. My screws are still here. You have to reinstall your switches, which should be up here in front. Yeah, the only other thing I can think of as far as them sending you a disassembled unit here is this up here. The rest of the wiring is really not that much over here. There's one for the connection right back here, and one for the sensor and the switch. So pretty much let me know what it is that they sent you, and we'll kind of go from there. Reassembly is pretty easy, just the way you found it. So these screws are secure. I'm going to tighten them one more time. And just to give you guys a quick peek what's in here, it's actually a pretty magnificent piece of work. Everything is fairly waterproofed here. As long as you get the parts without too much effort, you can reassemble this. Okay, so putting this thing back together. After we know we're not pinching any wires, and we know that this assembly actually works, we're good. Keep the doors open as you level this back onto the top. And in reverse order, make sure the black piece is protruding through the hole again. And flip this thing over. I'm going to have to pick up the screws that I dropped over here. And I'll save you guys the headache watching that. So, three small screws right here. Then you want to put in this one here, and this one, and this one. And then you want to go ahead and, okay, here's what I was talking about. When you flip this thing over, these tend to fly out. The wire is the same direction as it flows, so this should be actually pretty easy to put back in. And if your robot is not acting correctly when it bumps into things, chances are that this wasn't placed in back correctly. It's got a little slot. You can feel the little slot. And it is a little tricky to get in here. Anyway, there it is. And you put the front end bumper like this. I would lean it forward here and around the camera, or sorry, the eject button. Make sure the camera is visible through the hole there. Line it up. Flip it over again. When you find your screws are aligned with the wall here, which mine now is, screw in this screw here. You do have to kind of play with it to get it in here, right? Let's try this again. There it is. Put your remaining screws on the side here. The 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. When that's completed, go ahead and insert your battery. That's secured by maybe a little bit more than maybe 2-3 turns. Reattach your mat, which is right there. Okay. Then open your top. Again, mine is not screwed in, that's why it's poking out like this. Don't forget your filter. Reattach your tank. If you did everything correctly, you should not get a red light. That also represents you don't have any water in it. Anyway, if you guys have any questions or comments, or if I can help you with your maintenance of your Bravajet, let me know. Till next time, take care.